our deepest solidarity and sympathies with those who died defending President Maduro from the abduction by these imperialist forces of the U.S. under the direct instruction of Donald Trump.
Thursday, January 8th, 2026, the South African Communist Party announced a big march on the U.S. Embassy in Hatfield in Pretoria, South Africa, to protest the kidnapping of Nicolas Maduro, his wife, and his son. I think they're confusing that with the legal rendition of an alleged criminal who's facing a criminal indictment that dates from 2019 or 2020. Yeah, so the kidnapping, a big fanfare. The South African Communist Party leader said, we are going, and it's a multi-organization, lots of groups going. The economic freedom fighters are coming, plus all these other folks are coming. Well, I did make a tongue-in-cheek assessment of that last night in a video, warning people about this to stay away from it. You know, protests can get out of control. And I cheekily said that, well, yeah, there'll be dozens showing up for the protest. Well, it turns out, it looks like it was dozens. Certainly not hundreds or thousands. There were a lot more South Africans who showed up at the U.S. Embassy earlier last year in support of President Trump's refugee program after he announced it. There were hundreds there. Today, there were dozens, showing you just how fossilized and dead the South African Communist Party is. And they foolishly want to run for office in the election. They're going to be embarrassed very badly. The people who do well in the next election will be MK in KwaZulu-Natal, and in Gauteng, and in a few other spots here and there. Patriotic Alliance will do much better in these next elections, as will the Freedom Front Plus. The ANC, the Democratic Alliance, and the EFF will all tank in this next election. The South African Communist Party will accomplish virtually nothing. Well done. So their leader had a few words to say.
South African people and the working class worldwide are with you. What you are doing is an important lesson for the rest of the world. We have great respect and trust in your revolution and in your people.
Now my question is, why does he have a bullhorn? Could the dozens of people not hear him? I've been in front of that embassy many, many times, and they're on the street that runs north and south just to the east of the embassy location. Of course, the embassy is on Schoeman, and it's just east of there with a little hotel there, bed and breakfast. And they blocked that street off for protesters so they can hang out there so they don't obstruct traffic. He needed a bullhorn for that? I mean, I could have just talked to the crowd without a bullhorn. But hey, commies love their bullhorns. That's their labor standing up for the common man. Except they don't. They stand up for their own wallets. What has the South African Communist Party ever done for South Africans? Can somebody tell me? Anyway, the march that wasn't. The protest that wasn't. Well, it was. A couple dozen people. Well done, commies. Well done. It's good to see most South Africans aren't fooled by the stupidity of this organization. Cheers.
The development of socialism. This achievement is in contrast with the many people, thousands of them who are sleeping on streets in the United States who are homeless.
What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about?